I'm really glad that this maze is not too confusing. Oh, at least not so far. Ooh. Oh. Why are you resisting? Why is he a transfer, huh? Ow. Stop it. Stop it, man.
Stay down. I'm glad that's over.
Oh yeah, shortcut. Ah, I see. So that was not an optional path at all. Oh, okay. But hold on. So there's a path here as well, but we can't open it. Interesting. Should we just put the key in here and see what's what? I'm pretty sure that that key goes here. Wait, that's where it came from. Let's explore a bit there first. Oh, there's more here. Stop whispering to my marbles. Actually, that's interesting. Oh, listen, I'm gonna open the thing. Please don't be an elevator or like a portal, just do some cool move. Yeah. Alright, I mean I was hoping for a bit more than this. I think it's pretty fucking cool, isn't it? Will I still fast throw it? Oh, what? Like again? That's it. Oh, nah. Yeah, we get the belly flop without this one. Oh. Oh. Huh. Interesting. What does this mean for us? Hello, is anybody up there? Huh. Well, I imagine we'll end up on this side. By coming from a different path. Weird. King spalacce. I would not have been too bummed out if there were no more enemies here, but you know, the enemy free area.
Here we go.
Nah, we're not going anywhere. Shit. I'll just relax. Oh, there's gonna be a duo up here again, huh? Not? Base health, that's You get relics like that too, okay. Will this take us to the same spot, I wonder? Just from a different area? From a different entrance, I should say. That would be neat. The music sounds like there's not gonna be enemies. Is that a checkpoint? Or a waypoint or whatever? Touch the stone. Hey, where did we get the book-bound medallion from anyway? Very quiet so far. I wouldn't mind if it stayed this way. Oh, there's... Ah, it's not gonna... There's a lot of places here. A lot of area to explore. Wow. Well, I have a feeling we'll use the book-bound medallion here. Which again, I don't remember where we got from. Holy shit, that's a lot to read. The Nara and the Jubhawk. It was in the days when every animal prepared for the long winter. The Han gathered rocks and mud for its dam. The Bushalk collected hay to spread about its den. The Nara curled up the tallest trees, seeking nuts to store in its hole. Okay. One day the Nara climbed a particularly tall tree, a task it disliked very much, for the climb was difficult and the branches often treacherous. When it came upon a Jubhawk lounging in its nest. "Where is your store of food, Master Jubhawk?" said the Nara. "Do you not prepare for the winter?" "I have never had need," the Jubhawk said with a great shrug of its wings. "But the idea intrigues me, for I see all the creatures of the forest floor running to and fro for days on end." "So we must," said the Nara, with a flick of its tails, "else the winter will claim us." "How charming!" "Oh, not for those poor souls claimed, of course, but all your hard work delights me very much. Perhaps you might be interested in an arrangement. I can see how much you dislike climbing my job trees. Your body is more suited for swimming, yes? Perhaps instead of nuts you could bring me a particular worm, one that makes its autumn home deep within the Droper caves. If you were to bring me, say, 100 of them, I would happily gather the nuts for you from every tree in the grove." "I can do this," the Nara straightened in delight, for it hated climbing the job trees very much. Swimming in the pools of the Droper caves was much more to its liking. "I will make this deal." Eagerly the Nara slithered into the caves, slipped into the cold pool, swam through an underwater passage and entered the dark chamber where the only light was the glow of the cave worms the Jubhawk desired so much. There were hundreds upon the walls and the rock was easily scalable for the Nara, much easier than the cursed job trees. "This will be simple," she thought. "It would require a full week to gather all the nuts in the Jubhawk's grove, but this will take me but a day. With the Jubhawk's help I can begin my winter's rest early." There's so much more. But the task proved more difficult than the Nara had thought, for the worms clung tightly to the walls, and they wriggled and slipped from her grasp during the swim to the outside. By the evening she had gathered only half a dozen. "Oh, it shall take me weeks to get them all. I must speak again to the Jubhawk." But the Jubhawk was not as understanding as she hoped. "A day's work, and this is all you have achieved? You did not say the worms adhered to the rock, nor that they would squirm away at the first touch of water. It takes a great deal of time to bring even one into the sack." I have never noticed these problems. Perhaps you simply need to try harder. The Nora hissed. I'm sorry, Mr. Jophawk. Even with the nuts you gathered for me, I cannot complete this task and be ready for the winter. But we had an agreement, the Jophawk scratched his under feathers with one long claw. How about this? I will gather even more nuts. All that you need for the whole winter, but in exchange you will collect every worm in the cave. Can you do that? The Nora flicked its tails as it calculated. The request would be difficult, but all the nuts she needed for winter, troublesome, oh my god, I can't read. Troublesome though the worms were, they were far less trouble than climbing the job trees, and she would still save time besides. Yes, she said, I will do this. And so she returned to the work. One at a time, she pried each worm from its hole and towed it through the water until she was too tired to do more and brought what she had for the job hog that day. After a week of this, she began to dislike the work, but reminded herself that she got to spend her entire day swimming in the cool of the cave rather than the heat of the forest, and her work would be done with days to spare. All without climbing a single tree, she thought, and perhaps the job hog will enjoy the worm so much that he will make the same exact offer next season. Then I could begin winter's rest even earlier, and with that pleasant thought ahead of her, she smiled and continued her work. The days grew colder, so too did the cave pools. The work became slow and difficult. Each sunset, the Nana brought a sack before the job hog and redid her calculations. No longer would her winter rest start early, but with the job hog's help, she would survive the winter, and perhaps next season she could start earlier. He noticed another thing, however. Where are the nuts, Mr. Jophawk? For surely he should have gathered some by now. The Jophawk waved a casual wing in the air. I can gather more in a day than you can in a fortnight. It will be done. But, she said, her slender body quivering with anxiety, the nuts will not remain forever. They must be gathered before they fall. Dear Nara, which of us lives in the job trees? The Jophawk's feathers puffed out as it took offense. Perhaps you should spend more energy on worms than misgivings. For this deal pleases me, and it would be nice to do it again next year. The Nara smiled at that and slipped away. The Jophawk was right, of course. He knew his trees better than she, and next year she would be even faster. In any case, it was too late for the deal to change now. There was no time left for her to collect the nuts she needed by herself. With the Jophawk's words in her heart, she returned to her work with even greater fervor, and by the time the first winter clouds loomed on the horizon, she returned with the final sack and placed it at the foot of the job tree. Jophawk, she called, I have the last of them, every worm as promised. The Jophawk flapped down, clutched the sack in its talons, and flew back to its nest without a word. The Nora waited, but he did not reappear. Mr. Jophawk, said the Nora, a shiver of worry niggling her tails. The great bird poked its head from its nest and looked down. Of course, I apologize. Thank you so much, dear Nora. This arrangement has been quite a pleasure. I look forward to continuing it in the future. And he dropped a small bag from above. The bag landed nearly on the Nora's head and spilled forth a mere handful of job nuts. Hardly enough for a week, let alone the winter. The Nora hissed in agitation. Where are the rest, Mr. Jophawk? You promised all I need. The Jophawk walked out onto a great branch with a sad look upon his face. I'm sorry, dear Nora, but I flew here and there all day, every job tree in every grove, and all that is all I could find. And that is all I could find. All day, the Nora said. What of the other days? The Jophawk did not appear to hear her. Here, he said, take a few of my worms, for I surely do not need them all. And he dropped the sack that the Nora had brought him that day. The Nora scowled. I cannot eat worms. But the Jophawk had returned to his nest already and disappeared. The Nora called until the clouds rolled in and the sun set, but the Jophawk showed not a feather. She returned to her burrow with the scant nuts the Jophawk had given her. Even eaten sparingly, those nuts were gone within the month. It was too cold to gather more, but the Nora had little choice. She slithered far and wide in the snow, searching for any food that she could eat, but all the food had been frozen or gathered, and all the animals holed up for the winter. The snows fell, and the cold worsened, and the trusting Nora froze to death before she could even return home. Moral: trust is for fools. Jesus Christ. Why did I read the whole thing? Why did I actually do this just now? What is wrong with me? Well, that's it. I'm never reading again.